everyone, welcome to Girls STEMpede. Our guest today is Flor Serna, a business strategist and the founder of Electric Girls, a company whose goal is to build girls' confidence and capabilities by engaging them through STEM. Hi, Ms. Serna, thanks for being here today.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Before we get into our actual questions, I wanted to ask you an icebreaker, which is if you could meet one female in STEM from all of history, who would it be and why?
Her name is Nien Ling Wacker, and she passed away unfortunately a few years ago, the founder of a company called Laserfish. And basically, it's one of the earliest companies in the 90s that uh, was, from what I understand, basically transforming how you use documents and getting documents from paper onto the internet. And like she totally transformed like the way that we think about information on the internet, because I mean you really think about it, in the 80s and 90s we lived off of paper and printers and fax machines, and now those things are becoming more and more obsolete, and I just really admire her pioneering that industry.
Oh, wow, I've actually never heard of her, so that's really cool that she started that program. And was it for companies or was it for like children or who was it for?
No, it's for companies. It's really, um, it's basically just it's a series of like software that can help move documents online and to computers.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a very good person. I can't believe that I'd never heard of her. But so
Yeah.
my first real question is, could you briefly tell us what exactly you do, and could you take us through your typical workday? So what's your favorite part, what's your least favorite part, etc.
So I founded Electric Girls, but now work as a volunteer with Electric Girls, so I'm no longer in the day-to-day. But in my regular day, I actually work as a product manager at a company called Stitch Consulting. And we basically do technology consulting and customization and implementations for all sorts of businesses in the US. So my role day to day is really working with a small group of clients and any type of industry really, and listening to what their business is, what some of their problems are, what they struggle with technology wise, and some of the biggest blockers to them being able to operate at their best. And then I work with a technical team to basically translate those requirements that a business needs into tickets that a solution architect or a developer might be able to take on, and build like technology solutions for a company to help automate their business processes and workflows.
Okay, wow. And do you have like a favorite part of that, or just everything is great?
I really like everything. I love that I'm pretty much at the intersection of working with people and with technology products. I love listening to problems and understanding them and translating them to someone else that can, and then helping solve them. Yeah.
That's great. And I also have a follow-up question about Electra Girls. So you founded it at such a young age. I mean, like in your 20s, like you said, which is really incredible. So what do you think you learned from founding a company that was like very successful at such a young age? And I mean, now after a couple years and after no longer being, I guess, the
Yeah.
president of it, like what have you learned?
Oh man, a lot of things. I have had, I think, a very non-typical professional development, if that makes sense. So like I founded Electric Girls while I was in college, and coming out of college, I kept working on Electric Girls. I had a couple of other jobs right out of college, but quickly got to a point where Electric Girls became my full-time job, and I was the leader of this quickly growing organization. And so it's not typical that you are the boss or the CEO before you've ever had a boss, but that is my experience. So I have learned a lot quickly, I think, about just how businesses operate. And I always have a lot of empathy for startups because I had a startup at a young age and went through a lot. Probably some of the biggest things that I learned is to just I learned how to prioritize and narrow the scope of what you want to focus on and learn how critical it is to build a really quality team of people around you to get stuff done.
Yeah, and it's just such great experience, like, even for what I'm doing with Girls STEMpede, even though it may not be to the extent that you're doing yours, just, like, learning how to communicate with people, how to start a website, how to gain a social media following, like, all of that stuff is just really invaluable, so
Yeah, it's definitely like a really good way to accelerate your professional development.